Come make a coffee with me. I don't know where to place you, but we're gonna make a coffee. Ooh. This song has been on repeat for like 7 days in a row, I think. And I can do way more than that. I can do 2 months probably. Same song playing every second of every day. And then I'll get tired of it. And then I'll come back a year later. And I'll be like, wow, it felt just the same. But the song's pretty good. They do a little like hop thing with the guitar. You know. Anyways, it's been pretty good. It's really hard because I'm filming with a computer right now, so I'm like deadass having to just move it wherever. But then the lighting in my place is just awful because what is happening? But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna show what I put in my coffee. It's nothing really special. I deadass use this like New England coffee. I used to use Starbucks coffee because I'm a basic ass bitch, but I'm using this now because it was cheap at Walmart. It's $5. Tell me why Starbucks shit overpriced. I mean, it's good coffee though. Tastes real. I will say, I'll give them that. Tastes real, but it's like $13 for one of these, dude. So this was like $5. You know, I'm riding with it. It's been really hard financially recently, so riding with that. So I just have a coffee maker. I pull 2 espresso shots. Then I grab, sorry if I'm like flashing you guys too. I literally just am not wearing enough trans tape today. And if I get violated on YouTube, I get violated. But actually, I'm not getting violated. If you guys get violated by me, then my account just goes down. Right? I don't know. Anyways, I don't see how it's a violation. I've had this for like months. I mean, it stays fine forever. But it's brown sugar. Put brown sugar in there. I had a fucking whisk. The whisk just like broke. So now I've been using a fork, you know, a little in that. I then have a shaker. It's a cocktail shaker. So one of these. Shut off for a second. The drill. Put ice in here. You put whatever syrup you want in the ice. Then you pour your espresso over, and you add any extra little, like, if you add, like, nutmeg, cinnamon, spice to your, sometimes I add salt. I'm a little weird, but, like, I'm very particular about, like, flavor. But I haven't been putting salt recently, because, yeah, whatever. But, cinnamon, damn, this quality, wow, you know, gonna have to make it work. Yeah, so these 2. Cinnamon. Nutmeg. Those two. And then you finish it with ice. Oh my god, if this ice thing works. Bro. This is genuinely gonna have to do, because ice. And then obviously you put the brown sugar or whatever you're gonna like melt within your coffee. Put that in the hot coffee. Do not put it in the fucking ice shaker because it's not gonna melt, homie. It's not gonna melt. And then you're gonna have sand in your mouth. And that's not fun. In my opinion, that's not fun, you know. But you could have sand in your mouth if you want it. If that's your cup of tea, cup of coffee. I'm not funny. Okay. Yeah, no, if that's your cup of tea though, like, yeah, go for it. Have some little granules of sand in your mouth. Chomp on it. I usually put like a very tiny amount. I like my coffee like strong. Well, I've kind of become more white recently, but because I'm actually Hispanic, believe it or not. Fork, because we don't have a whisk. Yeah, then I literally just stir that. It's so nice because like you can like eventually like start smelling it when you're like whisking it. And I add cinnamon usually into both like my actual like coffee and then my shaker. Depends how much cinnamon you like. And this time I'll add nutmeg because why not? Like I don't really add it that often, but yeah, I'll do it today. Okay, but nutmeg is very like I feel like much more powerful. So let me pour it in there. I usually add like a cinnamon. What the fuck am I saying? I usually add like a little bit of a syrup. We have pistachio, so I can add some of this guy. I usually stir, but I don't put a lot. But I actually, oh my god, I'm not a good multitasker because I'm literally like I'm not used to recording myself. If that's not obvious enough already. I'm also not used to like being able to take my time with things, and I can tell when I start recording, I get like really rushed with myself. But I'm like, dude, it's your own YouTube. You can just do whatever you want, and you can take your damn time. But yeah, no, you just. So yeah. Oh, you can hear that? You hear that? The like the foam, dude. It's so satisfying. And then I'm gonna get a cup. Use this one. I'll be so honest though. This saves so much money, like making your own coffee at home. And I mean, obviously, you're gonna have to buy like the items that you need for the way that you have your own coffee, but I'd argue buying a coffee out every day is far more expensive than doing this because coffee has like good coffee. I just feel like the prices are pretty insane. I mean, it's valid, but I know I can't afford it. So, not saying it's not valid, but I can't afford it. That's good. So it looks like that. You have like a very nice little, you have a lot of foam. If you don't like foam, then don't do this, but it's a lot of natural foam. And it's basically like a brown sugar coffee, yeah, but I add just a little bit of almond milk because I don't have oat milk anymore. Sad. I add almond milk, and then I add some like cream, like sweet cream. The basic. Shake that. Always check your caps. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I think it's more of a like self-aware type of thing for me. I'm like trying to teach my future self. Check the caps. Don't shake without checking, because when I do that, the amount of times I make coffee and I'm having a great day and whatever, and then the cap is just not tightened fully, so milk squirts all over my face, and I'm like, dude, like I just woke up. I don't know. Not fun. Okay, and then I do use this. Yeah. Makes it sweet. Obviously. Sweet cream, but sorry, I don't know. Yeah, it looks all cool. Like a milk and the sweet cream. And obviously, stir it or shake it, but I already shook it. Cheers. All right, I'm gonna keep you guys here. Hello. It looks so short. Am I supposed to sit on the bed? That's so awkward though. I'm not gonna do that. So I don't even really know what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I actually like I have like no subscribers, but I kind of wanted to start like talking about real life shit and difficulties and like I guess familiarities that you can find with other people on here. I've been seeing a bunch of like videos, just kind of talk about, um, I guess like the whole like what that individual's struggling with themselves. Just like thoughts, like anything that you'd write in your journal. Like I kind of want to talk about that, and so I want to come on here and just like talk a bit about things, but I feel like in general there's been a whole switch in the way people, at least my age right now, are communicating with each other. It's really hard. I feel like it's very difficult. A lot of people, it feels like we don't know how to communicate anymore. There's no sense of like, I want to say the word proper, but because it shouldn't be, there shouldn't be a label for it, or there shouldn't be a like standard as to like how to communicate with people. It's all different, for sure. But I can tell that it's like something that's very vulnerable for people. I think COVID seriously affected and impacted so many people's ways of interacting. Just eye contact itself, like, um, I don't know, and just like truly being who you are. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know how to kind of like put it into words. I'm also making these because I need to get better at like talking out loud. I'm myself, like I'm a writer. Like I write like these sporadic segments of like my feelings and emotions and ways to like express myself through writing. Like I'm really good at that, but I'm not good at like outwardly speaking about it, like them, or talking to people about it, because I'll either forget. I'm very forgetful. That's another thing. I feel like people are so forgetful. I don't know if that comes with like this whole thing, um, media, technology. I genuinely have no idea. That's part of like what I believe, but it can also be trauma, childhood trauma. It can also be, I guess, like societal, like generational type gaps. I think as well. Um, yeah. So I'm not good with that. I'm not good with like the whole like remembrance. I also think that for me, in particular, I'm on the like neurodivergence scale, and I'll be honest, I've gotten tested for several things, mainly autism, but they couldn't clarify if I had it or not. Actually, they were like, we don't have enough on these like this scale system for us to say yes or no. So I've gotten diagnosed with OCD, um, and the ADHD thing is what that professional had told me that she thinks I have. But she told me I can't directly give to you the answer because I am not the like quote unquote executive for that particular type of testing. Like you need to go to an ADHD specialist, psychoanalyst to get that done. And I was like, okay, fair enough. So for me, I guess like the whole like remembrance thing could be a whole like ADHD. If I have ADHD, that could be an ADHD thing, or just simply like a neurodivergent thing, you know. Um, but overall, no, I'm rambling. But in general, seriously, like I think a lot of us are so desensitized and numb to so many things, and that again that can come from so many different like platforms and factors that like that play into it. But overall, it's I feel like it's a huge problem that needs to like be addressed and kind of like be upfront with it. Like no one really, I think, talks about it. Everyone just keeps that inside, and it's like I don't want to, because I'm a very emotional person, and like in order to like break that barrier or break that like level of difference, you need to like talk about it, you know. And so yeah, it's really complicated. It feels like very um wishy-washy, because like some people like to talk about things like this with me, but then I think other people like it just depends if they're in the mood to do that or not. Like I think a lot of people like to talk about um what's that, like not like small talk. There's small talk, of course, but what's that like word for that? Surface level like things. And surface level can be fine, of course, but I think for addressing like that as a whole, like I really like getting to like the knee deep part of it. And yeah, man, I don't know. So I wanted to talk about that, just how I think like fucked up the generation is right now. I mean, I was born in 2024. I was born 2004. I was born in July. Um, so I'm 22. But so like Gen Z, particularly, I'm not, needless to say, I think every generation was completely um, caught off guard and fucked up over COVID and the whole like pandemic of either that being a physical limitation, mental limitation. I mean, I can't, like you see, I don't really remember officially how long that lasted, of like where we were quarantined and our homes couldn't go out, of course, to that whole like 9 yards, um, and having to like stock up on food and stuff when we could before, and the whole thing. I don't really remember how long that period lasted. I know it was a lot. It was a long time, and I know how it obviously affected people, because people being isolated from the rest of like society for that long definitely plays into effect of how am I going to socialize now that we're out of this? How am I going to like, I don't know, I think it definitely played into effect. I could be wrong, but that's just, again, I'm here to talk about life and like what I think. But yeah, so yeah, it's kind of sad for sure. I just wish like everyone was more let loose kind of about like what we can talk about, and more like wholesome than it's just like it. I think it created like a more sense of awareness in what do I say now, how do I socialize, overthinkingness of like, do I say this, or will they care, will they understand me, will they even want to listen and actually um, pay attention, or will they pretend that they care, like all this, like that is stuff I deal with myself. It's not good, obviously, but for a naturally socially anxious person, I think I was since like the day I was born, to be honest. Like I struggled a lot in like elementary, middle school. I feel like, yeah, that just makes sense, like it got worse, you know. So that's that. um yeah. And then it's just, I don't know. I think it's pretty sad. I kind of wish that like people could just talk about like the mundane and be okay with it. Um, I also think a huge thing for me is I live in an area and a place where I am totally not understood. Like, I'm not just saying that to say that, but I'm queer as hell. I'm trans, and I live in Orlando, Florida. Okay, so that's a problem. Anyone who's queer and trans who lives in Orlando knows that's a problem. Unless you have like your set group of friends who is in that community and can accept you for who you are and totally respect you and see you for who you actually are, you know? But needless to say, that's not usually how it is. And in my total experience, it's been very the opposite. I don't have community here. I feel very judged, very disrespected. So that creates a huge barrier for me from like reaching the potential that I feel like I have and being able to like talk about the things that I'm interested in or just be me in general, because if I'm already being judged for being who I am, like, and people are not gonna want to talk to me, and it's true, this has happened. I'm not making um up like scenarios. This is like genuinely, I could be for majority, but this has happened. So I think it caused me that trauma of like, I don't know what people here think of me to be like, quote unquote. So based on how I appear, based on how I talk, my mannerisms, people here are, it's so conservative, it's so right wing. People here, dude, they don't even let you kind of I don't know how to say this. Like, they don't kind of let you even get to the point of knowing that person, because they just see you for that and they're like, oh no, oh no. So you're kind of left like, okay, my bad. I don't. It's like, you know. So that definitely creates a huge trauma and impact into how you go about living your life, and interacting with people. It's not that I don't want to interact, it's that I'm scared to because of the way I've been treated before. So, and that could be the case for a lot of people within my generation. And not if even if they're not queer, like it could be for any minority or anyone in general who's been mistreated, you know, like it makes sense. Um so yeah. Um Otherwise, I mean, I think for me, like a setting, location, and how that location treats those like me really matters. It really, really matters. Because I'm just not going to be able to be myself. Flat out, verbatim, like I just can't be myself. And it sucks the soul out of you. It sucks the living soul out of you. But I had to remind myself over and over, like while I was here. Because I'm leaving in a week. A little bit more than a week? A little bit more than yeah, I know. A week. I'm leaving in a week. Um, we are like picking up and we're going to Asheville, North Carolina. And that's like a very liberal place. Tons of queer people, open-minded individuals, families that are like super accepting, respectful. Complete opposite of Orlando, Florida. So that'll be good. But yeah, like, what was I saying? What was I saying? Overall, like, yeah, the setting really matters. It really, really matters. The reason I came back here was because I was going to school. I got accepted into UCF for 2023. I was taking like this like gap, like a little mini gap, and I lived in Oregon with one of my sisters. for 6 months, so like half a year. Best experience, one of the best experiences in my life, for at the time what it was. And I think coming from anyone who knows what Portland, Oregon is like, going from Portland, Oregon to Florida, dude, that's like wrapping me in a, what do you call it, like a cannonball, and just shooting me away. That's literally what it is. Because like, oh, shooting me into like a ring of fire. That's literally what it is. You go from like the most open-minded, crazy individuals, a little weird, but you're a little weird, me. So it's great. You blend in, you match, right? To religious cults, to conservatives, to Trump supporters, to just anyone. You know, the people who love guns, love to shoot animals with them. Are you fucking serious? Like, I'm not gonna want to be there. I'm not gonna want to be here. People who don't believe in abortion. People who just, all those kinds of individuals. People who just don't like humans, honestly. Who don't believe in human rights. Live here in Florida. So, yeah. That was a huge, like, I got I fell into a pit. Not gonna lie, I fell into a really big rut. And I think I've been in it, like, ever since. Like, I don't think I've been more depressed than these past few years. Like, not gonna say that I didn't have good experiences and, like, meet cool people, and I met my partner here, so I'm, like, eternally grateful, but it's outside of that in itself. This place offered me nothing. Like, I got such a negative, it took such a negative mental toll on me, for sure. So that was, not the greatest. I'm glad I came here, though, because I met my partner. So I would have never met them. But, which is insane to think about. Or maybe I would have. I don't know. The universe has its, like, interesting ways of figuring that shit out. But I'm glad I came here. But I can't stay here. I can't. I really can't. It's like being, like, pushed, like, more and more down this hole. I just can't do it. So, yeah, moving very soon. Gotta pack this place up. Take everything with us. Living in the mountains. That's great for a queer person. But yeah, I just overall want to talk about that. Like, how I think, like, we need more of a return of like, social gatherings, of, like, just, like, a park hangout, or rock climbing meetup, or stuff like that. Like, more wholesome things where, I guess, like, people can have that outlet to express themselves and make friends, because I think a lot of people my age, and maybe not just my age, are having a hard time, like, making genuine friendships and keeping them, because so much is happening. It's like this, like, chaos in the world right now. It's a lot of bad things happening, and it's, like, can be really hard to, like, stay positive, and I don't blame it, like, on anyone, because it's hard for me to stay that way. But I also think that having that outlet for people to be able to get together and make friends who are like one another and find common interests and still know how to just, like, navigate life without letting all that negativity, like, eat at you, is so important, especially right now, because that's what those, like, politicians really want for us. They want us to feel that. They want us to feel degraded. We want us to feel like we don't matter, we don't have importance, like, all this stuff, like, it's so important to be, like, kind of radical in that. And I think we should be having more of it. And, like, I don't know, like, art classes, dance classes, but, like, beginner level, nothing like where you have to step in and you're already good at it. Like, no, you go into it and you're learning. You learn. It's normal. Not everyone is, like, good and advanced at everything that they want to do, like, that's a huge thing as well, where there's so many, like, spaces, I think, community spaces for people who are, like, quote unquote advanced at so and so and so, but where are the places for, like, people who want to begin at, like, a later age in their life? Like, what if you never had the chance to be a professional dancer at the age of 5 or at the age of 10, like, and you want to do it at 30, or you want to do it at 27 or 25, like, I don't know, I just hope we can bring more awareness to that, rather than having spaces that are only for so and so and so. Yeah. I kind of just wanted to talk here about all this, but yeah, I hope that everyone can just do what they want to do with their life and continue to find happiness and joy and whimsy in a time of turmoil and distress. Yeah. But peace out. I'll be back on here.